Welcome to the Own Your Choices, Own Your Life podcast. You've landed in the right place to learn how to own your story, release subconscious beliefs, rewire your mind, and step into the impact you know you're here to create. Through Outspoken Publishing and NLP certifications, we share the tools and subconscious shifts that expand your voice, your message, your confidence, and your leadership. I am your host, Marsha Vanwynsberghe, NLP trainer, speaker, author, and publisher. I am thrilled you are here. Let's get started. Have you ever had those times where it feels like life gets really loud? Like it's really loud in a way that you feel like you're being pulled in a lot of directions. And that can play with your head if you're not careful. Because, maybe it's loud with demands. It is loud with life happening when there is more expected of you. And it's funny how in those times, it feels like that doubt can creep up a little bit more and a little bit more. I know I shared an episode a couple weeks ago about doubt and how it can show its like really sneaky little head. And I've shared a little bit about this health journey and what it has been like. Yeah, life can get really loud. I had this time, I pre-record these ahead of time. So I batch them out. Well, I had this wild time where I interviewed Kellyanne and Jacqueline. And this episode, we talk a lot about human design. And if you don't understand human design, no worries, all you don't have to. But I've learned more and more about myself. I also have a defined spleen. What does that have to do with this episode? It's the fact that I'm crazy intuitive. And if you've listened to the show for a while, it probably seems funny because I've been so in my masculine my whole life. But this intuition is wild, like absolutely wild. So I've been fighting for being able to get seen regarding some concerns about my back. I had back surgery 6 years ago, and I've really had to lean into being a little bit more of the fighter again in order for things to happen. And then I had this dream the other night, right? I'm just leaning into this intuitive side. And that means that I know answers quickly. And I think we could do a whole episode on my intuition. It would probably freak some of you out. And I had this dream over and over and over. Probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 times the same night. I fall back asleep. I was right in the dream and I wake back up. And in my dream, I'm getting ready for back surgery. And I'm literally like, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this again. And didn't I wake up in the morning to a notification that I have a surgical consult? And I just went, this kind of came out of left field. I feel like my body was preparing me. Life feels loud. Life feels really loud right now. And loud in beautiful ways, right? Beautiful ways. When you stop, I was talking to somebody, and I mean, we're in the process of publishing 4 books this year. And, for a call our little publishing company, but it's not little. And looking at how it's growing, there's a lot of moving parts on that side of the business. And then over here, we have, we've got Outspoken and we're building that out. Over here, we're doing 3 podcast episodes a week. And over here, we are also building out the Heartwired CEO, the live event, and a mastermind. And I'm doing my ICF coaching at the same time. This is not a look at me moment. This is it's loud. Work is loud right now. But then I also look at it and go, I actually prayed for this. I prayed for this. So while life can get loud, sometimes it feels like a lot. And then it's like, okay, what do I need and how can I ask for support? And I have leaned in and ask for more and more support. And interestingly enough, I feel like some of the health challenges and personal things that are happening are also reminding me that I need help in my personal life too. And so, we have been doing that. It's like it's just, can you stop and see that when life gets loud, when you're building your big dreams, what do you do when life is still lifing at the same time? Because sometimes we get into the season of like, well, when this is over, right? When this is done, when this happens, and it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. You're actually always juggling and balancing something. You just get to decide what's on those plates. And when you're in a stage, I'm 56. When you're in this stage where it's like you start over again at 50, but you also are kind of in the sandwich area with aging parents and then still some issues that you deal with, it's challenging. It feels like the plates get really loud. And so what do you do, right? First off, there's no perfect season. There really isn't. I honestly think that there's this myth and belief that there's a perfect time, right? Like, I'm going to write my book when, I'm going to start the podcast when. And I often look back at it and think, well, I wrote my book when I was working full time and we were living in chaos. Like, I actually think that if you want something, you'll find a way to be able to make it a priority. Because if you wait for life to get quiet before you start living it, you're always waiting. And when life gets loud, it feels like, okay, what's loud and what can I do to turn that down? And so in NLP, we talk about submodalities, and submodalities are our own internal representation of how we see the world. And this is going to sound so weird if you are not someone who is familiar with this work. But what happens is that when things get loud, we focus on the loud. And when we focus on the loud, it's like our internal system is turning up the dials even more. The pictures get bigger, the pictures get heavier. We feel it in our body. It's like loud and it takes us out. You can be in a space of turning down the volume, turn down the volume, turn down the size. Like, I have really doubled down on the things that I didn't think I would be. Whether it is meditation, I've even joined meditation group because it helps me. It helps me in ways I was not expecting. The other thing I've done is I haven't read the book, but is it Julia Cameron? It's The Artist's Way. I haven't read the book, but I have been following it in one of our groups, and it is like 3 pages of just subconscious writing. What is subconscious writing? That is just pen to paper. If your pen is coming off the paper, you're thinking too much. So bring it back in and just write. And those pages are never meant to be like published or to be put out into the world. You could probably burn them. But what happens is you're allowing some subconscious thoughts to come to the surface. And what's been interesting in doing this, yes, it's another thing to do. It's about probably 20 minutes a day, but it's been a long time since I've done this pen to paper. And what it's doing is it's allowing me to like release things that I'm not meant to hold, release heaviness, release old thoughts, or even see some of these loud thoughts that show up. And I'm like, oh my God, why am I thinking that? Like, that's not even true. But it comes to the surface. And that is a way to clear it. And when we clear it, it makes space for holding something else. So it's been a couple things that I've been dialing in on just to try, right? Don't be afraid to experiment something, to try something, to see how it supports you. And then when life is loud, please know that teaching yourself how to lead, even though things aren't perfect, is a way to build more inner trust within yourself, more safety within yourself. What routines are you being asked to double down on? How are you being asked to show up for yourself? So I kind of got real with it. And I think it's really important when things get real, as hard as this can be, is to look at what's not working. See, it's not about adding more. Like, I kept thinking, oh my God, I've got to add more. But I was listening to what I needed. And then I went, all right, some of my workouts haven't been as consistent. I've been through some health issues. But then all of a sudden my workouts aren't consistent. I don't sleep very well. I'm really in a space of frustration. So what can I do? I kept looking until I actually found a workout series that supports me with where I am at this stage of my life. All of these things are like moving cups on a table, and they're all moving it all the time. Like, it's just those red cups are upside down and they're moving, moving, moving. The thing is that I think when life gets loud, we're being asked, what do I need now? How can I best support myself? How can I like regulate myself? How can I come back to my values? How can I trust in my voice? How can I put some boundaries on some things that I need to have in place? Because we don't want to be, again, back to the pirate ship. We don't want to be in this space where it's like literally like swinging all over the place when life is loud. I think those are the invitation times to come back into yourself even more. And that has supported me. So it's almost been interesting that because life got loud, I actually am even more dialed in on what I need, which helps me to deal with the loud life. And that loud, I think this is an important piece. Well, I know it is. The loud might be coming from the outside, right? All the things that are happening around us that are affecting us. But what happens is that loudness can increase the loudness inside of us. And sometimes that loudness is not supportive. So my loudness that shows up sometimes is doubt. It's like, can you actually do all this? Like, what are you doing? Like, this is a lot of moving parts. It is a lot of moving parts. I'm not joking. And yet, yes, I can because I know this is what I'm here to do. It wouldn't be happening in the way that it is if it wasn't something I can do. That's how deeply I believe in what we're doing. And it's interesting because to match that loudness that's happening outside and really doubling down on what I need in between to lead myself, it is really helping to match like what's going on around me. Like help me become the best version to do it. So now just insert yourself into me. What do you need to do to support yourself as best as possible? And maybe it's not a do, maybe it's a be, right? Who do you need to be? How can you lead yourself in the being? Is it more boundaries? Is it more quiet time? Is it like less on your phone? How can you give yourself more compassion to recognize that you're carrying a lot right now? And how can you ask for help and receive that help? Allow yourself to receive it, but ask for help because you need it. It's okay. Like I have always been the one who did all the, this sounds so silly, but I've always been the one who did all the meal prep in our family. And all of a sudden, about, I don't know, 6 months ago, when my business started to really blow up, I looked at my husband. I'm like, you know what? This is kind of silly because you eat like more than half of this food. So why am I doing it all? And all of a sudden, it was like, yeah, great question. Why am I? And it just flipped. Something flipped. There have been times where he's cooking for 4 hours on a Sunday while I'm doing other work stuff. Or maybe I'm taking a nap that day. Listen, we share it, okay? But I'm saying ask for help. I carried it all and thought I was supposed to. And that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I look at it now, I thought that that was resilient. I'm just strong. I can do it. Well, what if I don't have to? What if you don't have to? And what if life is getting loud to remind you to come back home to you, to take care of you, to take care of yourself? Because I really do believe that like success, whatever you want to call that, and we've done lots of episodes on success, fulfillment, and how you see it. Whatever success is for you, it's not built when things are perfect. It's built in the harder seasons. It's built in the loud seasons. It really is. It is built in those seasons where you choose to listen to what you need, you lead yourself so that you continue to become the version of yourself who can hold what you are building, right? That's really what it comes down to. The strongest leaders, like the best leaders, they aren't the ones who never experience hard times. They're the ones who don't abandon themselves in the middle of it. And so, ironically, all this loudness has actually brought me back to what do I need right now? How can I support myself as best as possible? See, it's been a turning point, and I'm in some beautiful ways, I'm actually grateful that it was loud because it forced me to come back home to me. Life will always get loud. And when you carry a lot, or if you're here to do really big, epic things, it's going to be loud. And it's going to be loud with lots of opinions. I got another episode coming up, lots of opinions and thoughts and how to navigate that. But your vision doesn't have to get quieter because it's loud. It doesn't actually. What if it's getting loud so that you can, again, you continue to become that version of you who can hold it, but it's asking you, like, do you actually want it? Like, do you actually want to do the work? Do you actually want to be that person? And you don't have to. You don't have to strive for more. But I always come back down to the rule of like, will I regret it if I don't? The goal is not to wait for the noise to disappear. The goal is to become so rooted in who you are, how you lead yourself, what you need, so that when life is spinning around you and there's all these plates that are happening and the cups are moving all over the place, you're standing grounded because you're literally in a space of saying, I'm built for this and I know I can do this. This is what it's like to build the capacity to hold more. And honestly, it's wild because sometimes I look at it and think, okay, if I can do all this while all these personal things are still happening at the same time, just imagine how much easier it's going to be when some of these things like resolve, how much easier it's going to be. And it really does like just help me to stop, be grateful and proud, and greet myself with a little bit more compassion because that compassion can go a long way. It really can. And it'll spill out into everyone else as well. So I hope this message supports you. When life gets loud, instead of making it mean you can't do something, have fun with it and just get curious as to what it means and what it's asking you to do. And maybe, just maybe, it's asking you to come home to yourself and become an even more grounded version who is capable of holding what you're here to build. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that you're always here and supporting the show. I hope you have an incredible day. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Own Your Choices, Own Your Life. I invite you to tag me on social media with your takeaways or share it with a friend. If you feel called, please leave a 5-star review and I would be forever grateful. Until next time, remember, when you own your choices, you own your life.